Resiners, resiners, you may have changed my life. Resiners, resiners, you fix that bubble strife, bubble strife, bubble strife. You changed my resin life, pour on. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Carolyn here from Never Perfect Resin. And yes, resiners, you may have heard of a little company called Resiners if you're a resin artist. They reached out to me and we are doing a full-on from start to finish review, unboxing, trying out, testing their Airless bubble removing machine, which I am so very excited about. They were also kind enough to send me some of their one-to-one epoxy resin. We're going to be trying that out along with this machine, and we're going to unbox everything, kind of get going. I have a really fun idea. Let's get into it right now. So upon opening the box, love how it's packaged. Everything is nice and snug in there, so definitely didn't have to worry about anything breaking, that kind of thing. And then as you can see, just a couple, cute little card from Resiners. I love their logo, by the way. I think it's so cute. And then also they have a QR code. This is important. QR code with all the instructions. So that is super cool. I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit. But it comes with cups, obviously the machine, the little, the plug-in port, and all of that good stuff. So this is kind of what we're looking like so far, you guys. I'm super excited. And also, this is what I was talking about. Hit that QR code. It pulls you up to an actual YouTube video where they explain exactly how to use the machine, every single step. I watched the video. It's like 2 minutes long. Not super long, but so informative, super helpful. So if you go for this little guy, definitely watch the video because it helped me out a lot. So the idea today, look at this mold. It's two little astronauts. They're so cute. And I had this idea that I wanted to kind of make them like neon splattery. But first I figured let's take some chameleon powders and some hollow and paint their little masks. So I'm using the teal chameleon powder from Let's Resin, and then this is just a hollow nail powder. So before I do anything, I'm just going to take my little brush and paint inside their little, I think I said a mask, their little helmets. And I figured I'd do one in the teal chameleon powder and then the other one hollow. Also, I just make sure to clean up around my edges. I take a little Q-tip, cotton swab, dip it in some alcohol, make sure all is good to go. And then this is what we're looking like so far. Super cute, gotta say. Now the thing is, I really wanted these to pop, and in order to do that, I knew I needed to fill them with black resin. I decided to take the easier route. I ended up using UV resin just for this little tiny part, and I didn't actually own black UV resin, so what I ended up doing was using a little bit of black mica powder. Mine happens to be from Let's Resin, and just colored up some UV resin, poured it into these little guys so that I had a nice black background. So this is a huge side note, you guys. I thought I was a genius. I had the blue neon powder from Let's Resin. You're seeing the yellow here. Just don't even, look at the yellow and then forget that you even saw it. The only reason that you're seeing this part is because I realized I didn't tape myself doing it with the blue. But I wanted to tape this so y'all saw what I had done. But I took that blue neon powder and mixed it with some alcohol ink, I always say that, alcohol ink. I mean isopropyl alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol, 99%. I mixed the pigment and thought it would be a cute idea to color in, there's these little stars in the center of their chest. So I did that you see me doing it here with the yellow, and it ends up being a moot point because it didn't work the way it did with the blue. The left astronaut, I painted his little chest star blue. And let me show you exactly what happened when I did that, because I painted it and then I didn't like it. So I took some more alcohol and wiped it all off. So this is me having wiped all of that neon powder paint off. But then look what happens when I put my light on. You can still see. So the yellow didn't really work. You can't see it. But the blue, I was like, what the heck is happening? It's glowing. It's there. So I thought that was really cool. I wanted to see if that was going to end up showing up on the finished product. So that is why you are now going to see me switching paths and just using a colored UV resin, which I decided that I was going to use the Light Wish pink, but I'm only filling one star. The other one with that blue, I'm keeping it blank because I want to see at the end of the day if this ends up being like an aha moment, like an, oh my goodness, I figured something out amazing with resin, UV resin, and UV light, that it was still going to glow. So, so that's what you're seeing me do here. I'm just doing one of the little guys, and I love this color. It is so nice and neon-y in and of itself, this Light Wish pink. So it's perfect for where I'm going with this whole situation. And I'm just going to take my little toothpick, spread this UV resin out around this little star, cure him up. And at this point, we are actually ready to go and use this Airless bubble remover machine, as well as the Resiners epoxy resin, which you are seeing right here. This is a 1-to-1 ratio by volume epoxy resin. And after watching the Resiners little video, in terms of using the bubble remover, they did suggest warm up your part A. So I am doing that. I measured my part A. I'm warming that up. And while I do that, I am showing you what I'm doing in the meantime. So you may have seen me do this in the past where I take neon powders and a little straw and I place the powders where I want them and then blow, which is super fun. It creates a really awesome effect. I will link that video up in the corner here for you guys if you haven't seen it. And I'm showing you, I basically have a silicone mold. It's a tray mold, but I'm using it as kind of a splash guard, if you will. And the cool thing about that is if it looks cool at the end of the day, I can keep that splash guard and actually make some art out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these neon powders, and you saw I had yellow, pink, and blue. And I'm basically going to create just a few little piles. I decided that I wanted to put the piles right in the black area of my little astronauts because I wanted to kind of have their bodies have the little splatters, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to make a few little piles, and then I'm going to get ready with my straw, and we're going to have a little blowing of the neon powder session, and we're going to see what we come up with. Okay, at this point, we are ready for our actual resin. You see me here pouring part A. I did put it in a hot water bath, and now I am getting the machine ready to go. Now, it does say it is best, obviously, to have the bubble remover on a flat surface, specifically a silicone surface. Like if you have a silicone mat, place it on there. I also kind of went one step further. I have this little silicone cup that I decided to put inside the machine just because I had already, from turning it on, I knew it kind of vibrated and that the plastic cup was going to move around a little bit. So I was doing this just kind of as a precaution to see if it wouldn't move around as much. So we're in the machine now. Everything is happening. Obviously, the resin is mixed up 1-to-1, parts A and B, mixed for 3 to 5 minutes. And I went ahead and went for the 5-minute situation, expecting that I was probably going to have to go another 5 minutes. This resin in particular is more medium to high viscosity, so they suggest doing 2 rounds of 5 minutes. So that's what I did, and for me it worked perfectly. So just coming up at the end of round 2, wait for it. Oh, that's a fun sound. All those bubbles get released, and I had a little bit of surface bubbles, but all it took was a spritz of isopropyl alcohol, got rid of all of that situation. So at this point, I am ready. I'm going to do one astronaut perfectly clear, and another one I'm going to dye the resin white. So we're going to have one clear astronaut and one white astronaut. I just kind of wanted to see what the difference was going to be. And at this point, we're ready to pour our resin. You're seeing the clear going down here for our little guy on the right. And then for our little guy with the pink star, he's going to be the one that I pour with the white resin. Now remember, I'm hoping that that star, the clear one, that star is actually going to like shine with the UV light. Remember the blue? So we're going to see if that ends up happening. So 24 hours later, here we are. I did wait 24 hours. Now looking at these guys, so our cute little pink guy on the right, I'm very worried about that little situation there. It looks like there's like an air pocket. Now I did want to reiterate, remember the UV resin part? Now, I definitely did not get that whole thing on camera, but I did want to reiterate, I hit both sides of my mold with that UV light just to make sure everything cured properly. So seeing that little air bubble is worrying me a little bit. But back to the resin at hand. This Resiners resin cured so well. And are we seeing how crystal clear? I'm so glad I decided to do one of these astronauts clear just to prove that there are absolutely no bubbles. Look at this little neon pink star man. I love him so much. So yeah, right there, there's a little tiny dot where I think the resin kind of, that UV resin kind of like caved in on itself. It's all good though. I already know exactly what I'm going to do to fix that. We're going to fix that little guy and make him even cuter than he was before. So yeah, a little bit of a close up here, and I'm so sorry. I'm holding the camera, so it's a little bit shaky, but this, dying. Beautiful, gorgeous. I think I'm obsessed with this whole like neon splatter astronaut situation, and I'm gonna have to make a whole lot more of these guys. Absolutely. Love them so much. All right, so the fix for this little guy, look, I had this cute little heart where I was messing around with some of my Light Wish UV colored resins, and this little heart cabochon that I created works perfectly right there. So I just used a little bit more UV resin, put this guy in there so that heart can cure on top of his cute little mask. And are we seeing the amazingness of what UV light makes this neon powder look like? I had to put his little friend next to him just for fun so we could see the magic. So love it so much. We are good to go. So getting into some still shots, I did add these adorable little clear acrylic bales to the back. So they're going to be keychains. And you guys, in terms of this Resiners Airless bubble remover machine, I am a complete and total convert. No lie. Over the holidays, like for Christmas, I asked my parents for a pressure pot. And to this day, it is now July, I still haven't been able to find the right attachments. And now I'm still going to end up using it. I have such high hopes and dreams for my pressure pot once I finally get it going. But in the meantime, and in terms of just ease, Resiners, you did it. You did it with this airless bubble removing machine, and I love it so much. And you have, like I said in the beginning, you have changed my resin life. You got rid of that bubble strife. Yes, you did. So thank you. You guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. Also, if you are interested in trying out this machine for yourself or the Resiners 1-to-1 epoxy resin, I do have discounts down below. I will link them there for you, 20% off, so you gotta love that. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Bye.